What's up? Planet Crafter just came out with their Caves and Crater update. It just launched today. You can go download and play it right now. In this video, I'm just going to quickly read over all of the patch notes. If this video helps you out, then help me out by hitting that like button. But let's go ahead and cut this plug and get right into them. So I'm just going to briefly go over all of the big changes that have happened, starting off with their major changes category. They have removed the ability for you to craft pulsar quartz. They put in parentheses that they have reasoning for this at the end of the page, but I have not gotten there yet. So moving on to some new objects that they've put in, they've added a teleporter and an alloy rod, which are unlocked by terraforming the planet. And they've also added in a torch tier 2, a GPS rocket tier 3, and a map informations rocket, and those are unlocked via the blueprints. They've also made several world changes, starting off with new places that they've added called arches. There's a meteor crater and something called the balcony. They've added 4 new caves, one of them being zeolite, one of them being pulsar quartz. We have one for uranium and another one for osmium. And they've also added in 1 new golden crate. They've made several quality of life improvements, and I'm just going to talk about the ones that I think are the biggest, starting off with seeds from food growers now stay in your food grower when you harvest the food. This was a big reason why I wasn't grabbing my food. It's a pain in the butt to replant it. But now when you grab the food, the seed just stays right in there and starts growing again. They've added an arrow on some objects while in building mode to better help you orientate where the front of the object is. And they've also added in a new accessibility key, and by default, this key is control. And it does a few things. So when you're in your inventory, it's going to transfer all of the items from the same group. If you're building, apparently it's going to rotate things by 90 degrees. It can allow you to chain build, so you no longer have to reopen the menu and select if you're wanting to build an object multiple times, you no longer have to reopen the menu. And it also allows you to chain craft. So if you press the control key when you craft something, it's no longer going to close the UI. I think the last two, the chain building and the chain crafting, are something that should be happening automatically, in my opinion. I think that would be a better quality of life improvement. I'm not sure if there's any specific reasons as to why they are. But moving on to bug fixes, they now have it to where your vitals are saved between sessions, so you'll no longer load up a new session and have full hunger and full water, if you want to call that, full hydration. They've made it to where it will no longer rain underwater. They've fixed a bug on mining disappearing ores, and they've also fixed something called the false water area, which I'm not sure what it is, but they've fixed it. They've also made several performance changes, but I'm just going to move on to this last list instead and just quickly read this off. Starting at the top, they have increased the size of nuclear fusion generators. Asteroids can now come from multiple places. The title screen planet color changed depending on the save file that you hover on. That's actually cool. So if you're on a planet that's been terraformed a lot, it'll now have water and green land on it. It'll look more like a real planet rather than a desolate, landscape. I thought that was really cool. So finally, moving on to the last thing that they have to say, which is about removing the pulsar quartz. And they say that as zeolite becoming infinitely renewable via the new zeolite cave mining, the pulsar quartz is becoming the quote rare ore, the one that you'll be always excited to find. That's about it. That's about all they have for this update. I'm excited for it. So far, I've had a lot of fun playing Planet Crafter, and I was actually really hyped for this update. I'm going to put a video out going over some of the new stuff using the teleporter, checking out some of the new areas. So be sure to subscribe and keep an eye out for that if you're interested. And that's about all the information that I have for this video. I hope you guys all have an amazing day. I'm out.